going to So we're going to start by standing today, and we are going to get deep into the shoulders because the shoulders are so integral for the twists. So welcome to Peaceful Yoga, Laurie. My name is Laurie. Makes sense. And simply start by standing side to side on your feet. Just feel your body grounding itself out. Starting our practice at the bottoms of the feet. And then pausing, establishing a nice firm base with the legs. Bring the arms out to the side like big wings. Palms face the ceiling and touch the shoulders and then touch the chest. So just this little double tap, shoulders and chest. Feeling the shoulders sustaining the weight of the arms to allow us to bend the elbows. And this can get tiring fairly quickly if you're not used to doing this. Now notice the position of the shoulder blades. So our shoulder blades are going to be a big focus in today's class. Shoulder blades and shoulders are integral to our rotations, and this is part 2 of our rotation series. You start to feel the burn. And then we're going to change the motion to get deeper into the shoulders. Bring the right hand up and over as if you're trying to scratch the left shoulder blade. So there's a bit that's going past the spine. And then the left hand comes up in front of the body. We're used to bringing that left hand behind the body. Now it's in front of the body, hand to armpit. And then we'll change sides, creating a little swinging motion. So swinging from side to side, just changing sides, letting the shoulders oil up a little bit. Letting the drier connective tissue around the shoulders, the ligaments, the tendons, to start to feel movement, to start to feel hydration from the synovial fluid. Swinging side to side. That's it. Now we're going to change this front swing to the traditional back swing. So the next time your right hand comes up, the left hand comes up behind, as if you were trying to grab the hands. And then we're going to swing to the other side. And notice the symmetrical or asymmetrical nature of those as you switch from side to side. Once again, giving the shoulders plenty of movement before we come into the deeper stretches of the shoulders. And then release. Widen the stance a little bit more. Reach the arms up, clap the hands above the head, and bend the knees and come into a big goddess pose, really pulling those shoulder blades back together, squeezing back like you're dragging your hands down. Whew. So adding a little isometric power into the shoulders, lifting up, clap, bend, and then goddess, pulling back. Feel the shoulder blades, squeeze back. And then a similar motion, this time with a little lunge forward with the right foot. Sweep the hands out in front of you, palms to the sky, and then open them out into a big chest opening. And once again, feel this relationship between the shoulder blades and the chest. Let's try that again. Sweep out, palms to heaven, and all the way back as far as you can. Big opening. Good. A little more shoulder roll, up, back, and down. Giving the shoulders a lot of attention. Reverse direction. And then widen the stance once again. Bring that left hand right across the horizon in front of you and create a twisting motion here so you feel that rotation with that left arm across the body. Now bring the right elbow underneath the left elbow, lock it into place and start to squeeze that left arm towards the chest using the compression of that right arm. Turn the head over the left shoulder. Now become conscious of that left shoulder blade opening up, stretching out from the spine. Welcome, Jonah. And feeling the twist. So once again, feel this relationship between the shoulders and twisting. Exhale, release. Sweep the opposite arm across as if you're trying to reach for something on your opposite side. Lock in that left elbow will lock in that right elbow and squeeze the arm towards the chest, feeling that nice release in the right shoulder blade. Turn the head over that right shoulder. So bringing the shoulder blades into their maximal range of motion today in all directions. In all directions. Exhale, release. Shake it out a little bit. Bring the wrists and the elbows together in front of you and then create a little wrist infinity sign shape. So if you traced your little knuckles, they would be creating a little infinity sign in front of you. Keep the elbows together if you can, stabilizing the shoulders this time. Reverse the direction so your thumbs lead the way. And then feet hip width distance apart. Grab hold of the hips and create a little hip rotation. So even though we're focused on the shoulders, we want to bring the hips into the equation for twists, because twists involve a cooperation up and down the spine, from the tailbone into the neck, into the vertebra in the cervical spine. And then reverse direction. So going methodically through the joints, top to bottom. Before we get into our twists today. And then bring the feet together, bend the knees, rest your hands above the knees and start to create circular motion with the knees and feeling that in the ankle joints as well. Reverse direction. and then release. Come onto your toe tips for a moment and start to create a rotation around the toe tips so you feel this stretch sensation in the top of the foot as you keep the heel lifted, rotating first in one direction and then the other. Now the foot's not really used to rotational work, so this is a great experience to wake up the foot, the toes, gets plantar flexion, and then change side. And you can see that rotation moves right up into the thigh. You can see the leg rotating inside the hip joint and opposite direction. Exhale, release. Come to the center of the mat, or to the top of the mat, sorry. And then exhale, bend the knees and come into chair pose, Utkatasana, pushing the pelvis back, knees bent, arms lift up. Now ideally the arms are trying to come up level with the ears, so you get that nice straight line down through the arms, down through the spine, and you're sitting back. If you come lower, you'll feel more intensity in the thighs. It becomes a squat workout, which is also really a big part of what chair pose is. It's going to increase the cardiovascular rate, heartbeat will go up, breath will go up, big muscle groups of the thighs go up. Inhale, come up. Exhale, mountain pose, palms face forward. Now let's bring our attention back to the shoulders here. The shoulders are doing a tremendous amount of work in chair pose without us knowing it. Because all of our attention goes into the thighs, goes into those large leg muscle groups that are holding us up. So let's break down where the shoulders come in. Bring the hands out in front of you, palms face down, thumbs together, and press the thumbs together. I'll turn sideways. Make the arms strong so that if somebody grabbed your arms, they would be able to pull themselves up. Now, pull the shoulder blades back towards each other. Notice what happens to my hands. They retract. They come closer to the body, but I'm not bending the elbow. Elbow is still straight and strong. All I've done is brought the shoulder blades back. So this is what the first part we want to feel for chair pose, Utkatasana. Now bend the knees, push the hips back as if you're sitting on a chair behind you. Make sure you can see your toes down below you. If the low back super arches like that, just pull it a little bit in using your abdominals, but don't lose the shoulder blades. Now reverse the palms towards each other and start to lift the arms up until the biceps cover the ears without bringing the shoulder blades forward. Soon your attention will be drawn down into the legs, but you can feel how much the shoulders and the shoulder range of motion works here. Inhale, come up. Exhale, mountain pose. Close the eyes and notice the impact of mountain pose and chair pose. Now we're going to come into our first major twist today, prayer twist from the position of chair pose. So I'll turn sideways, feet hip width distance apart, hands out, retract the shoulder blades, so start with the shoulders, bend the knees, and then sit back. Find that position. Inhale, lift the hands. This time, sweep both hands to the left side of the leg, bringing that right elbow over that left thigh. Now, bring your attention into the right shoulder blade. Feel the stretch of the right shoulder blade away from the spine. Bend the elbow and bring the thumbs to the chest. So the right shoulder blade isn't quite as stretched, but now bring that left shoulder back a little more and feel the big stretch in the left glute. Thumbs towards the chest, and keep trying to bring that left shoulder blade closer to the spine. Prayer twist. Chin away from the chest, resisting the temptation to close the airway. Keep the breath. Inhale, chair pose. Release the twist. Exhale, come up. Close the eyes in mountain pose. Now bring your attention to the shoulders and the glutes and the legs. So prayer twist on the left side. Notice the sensations you feel after a twist. Notice the heartbeat, the breath. Let's try the other side. I'll do it front side this time so you can see it from the front angle. Inhale, hands out. Retract the shoulder blades. Keep pressure between the thumbs. Bend the knees. Sit back. Feel your chair pose. Toes visible. Palms face up. Level with the ears. Now sweeping both hands to the opposite side, to that right side. Be conscious of that left shoulder blade, and also conscious of your left knee. The left knee is going to want to come forward here in front of the right knee. Try to keep the knees aligned as much as possible. Now bend the elbows. So here's stage one. The knees will want to flare out. Keep the knees restrained. Keep the knees parallel. Start to work on that top shoulder coming back. Resist the temptation to hunch it towards the ear. Thumbs to the chest. Use that left elbow against the right thigh. Keep squeezing the thighs. Resist that temptation to open the knees. Feel prayer twist, opposite side. Inhale, unwind, chair pose. Exhale, mountain. Now theoretically, you should be feeling, if you're not used to doing chair pose, you should be feeling quite a bit with prayer twist. Notice how the shoulders feel. Just feel those shoulders for now, little swimmers hugging. Left elbow over right, right elbow over left. Little huggers, bringing back some blood flow into the shoulder blades and the shoulders. All right, so we're going to come down, we're going to open the hips this time, and we're going to open the hips in relationship to twists. So coming to the top of the mat, you can have a blanket ready if you like for your knees. You can have blocks as well. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Now in forward fold, let the head and neck and the shoulders just dangle. So a big part of releasing the hips is to release the low back. Release the neck and feel the shoulders just dangling. Inhale, slide the hands into the shins, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, bookshelf pose. Exhale, hands to the floor, take a giant step back with the left foot, drop the left knee, and this is where you can use the blocks to lean into to start to arrange your opening. So we're kind of in a yin yoga pose here, dragon pose to start with. Allow the hips to come forward so you feel that back hip flexor stretch, and that left knee is supported by the blanket. Toes are down. If you don't feel anything, let me show you a possible angle of the knee. If that doesn't feel like any sensation, curl the toes, walk that knee back, and then drop the toes. And then take the hands off the blocks and come into an upright position, pushing against that front thigh. I'm going to turn around so you can see it from the other side. Now reach both hands up, feeling that kneeling warrior. And we're going to come into kneeling warrior prayer twist. Sweep both hands down over to that right side. Left elbow against right thigh. Now bending the elbows, try to stack the hands and elbows into one line. Lengthen through the belly. And if you want to come with me into the full prayer twist here, you don't have to. You can stay right where you are. You can curl the toes and lift that back knee and come into a full deep runner's lunge prayer twist. Allow the breath to flow. Exhale, drop the knee, reach the hands up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step that right foot back. Big wide knees and slowly come back to child pose. Allow the head to rest on the mat. Inhale, tabletop. Curl the toes, lift the knees and press back to bent knee, downward dog. And then start to press the heels back. Feel downward dog. Left foot high to the sky, three-legged dog. And then step the left foot to that left wrist and drop the right knee. Grab your blocks. If you need to walk that back knee back a little bit, drop the toes and start to feel that opening in your hip flexor on the opposite side. And then bring your hands up onto the thighs. I like to make micro movements. I don't know if you can see that. Little micro movements with my hips just to get into that right hip flexor. And then pause, stabilize the legs so you can reach up into your kneeling warrior. Now we're going to try the prayer twist on this side. Sweep both hands over that left thigh. Now you can stay here and just really focus on releasing that right shoulder blade. You can also bend the elbows. Now this is going to ask of you to lengthen through the belly, lift the navel away from the hips. Try to stack elbows, hands on top of each other. Now, just the shape of my body at this point, I cannot come into the full twist unless I lift that back knee. So I'm going to curl the toes, lift that back knee, stabilize, and then bring thumbs to sternum into the full prayer twist. Exhale, release the knee, come back, reach up, kneeling warrior, and then exhale, drop the hands, drop the knees, and come all the way down to child. So once again, seeing this relationship between the shoulders and our twists. Inhale, tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, a little cat and cow. And even noticing cat and cow, how the shoulder blades change position. As you inhale and lift the tailbone, rotate the elbows in and forward as if you're squeezing something under the armpits, and feel how the shoulder blades want to come together. Head lifts. And then as you exhale, tucking tailbone, feel the shoulder blades come apart, stretching them apart. Drop the chin into angry cat. So cat and cow is a nice way to work on the shoulder blades. Try a few more rounds. And we're going to go deeper into the shoulders, preparing this for another twist. Inhale, lift that right hand to the sky. Exhale, thread the right hand underneath you. Try to bring the head down and rest the weight of the body into that right shoulder. Feel the right shoulder blade come away from the spine. Push into the left hand, lift yourself up, and then reach up to the sky once again, feeling the range of motion in that shoulder. Thread, exhale, and do two more in your own time. Inhaling as you lift, exhaling as you thread. And on that second thread, pause. Make sure the knees feel supported. If you have a blanket, you could use a blanket. Use your left hand here to press into the mat as if you're trying to roll onto the back of your head. And notice how that stretches the right shoulder blade away from the spine. And then relax. Let the left elbow relax. Try that again. Push towards the back of your skull, looking towards the sky, and then relax. One more time. Push. Look towards the top of the sky. Feel that right shoulder blade come apart. Lift the left hand if it's available to you. And then bend the left elbow and wrap it behind your waist into a half bind. Bring the left shoulder back a little more. And then release. Child pose. Notice the contrast between your right shoulder and right side of the cervical spine with the left. Can we try that on the other side? Inhale, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, lifting the left arm up towards the sky this time, and then threading it underneath. And do 5 more in your own time. Hold on that 5th time. And use your right hand to push into the mat and look towards the sky. And release. Creating this little pulsing, allowing the spinal twist to increase by pushing and releasing. Feeling that in the spine, the neck, the shoulder blades, even down into the hip. The next time you press back, pause and hold. If you can, lift the right hand up towards the sky. You can drop the right hand behind the back into a half bind. Now bring that right shoulder back more so you increase the twist. You're going to feel a lot of sensation here. Make sure you keep the breath flowing. And then exhale, release, unwind, come back to child pose, and release. And then inhale, come up into the shins for a moment. If that's uncomfortable, you can sit on a couple of blocks. Just stretching out the shins and the tops of the feet, shoulders back. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Just notice how the shoulders feel. Maybe come out with some window washing. Wax on, wax off. Hands out. And then we're going to move into one more major twist, but before we do that, find a comfortable position that you can... No, I think what we'll do is we'll come into a purposeful position. Grab a block and sit on the block. Take your left knee underneath you and bring the left foot beside the block. So I'll turn sideways so you can see me, what it looks like. So left knee, left foot is right beside the block, or as close as I can to that. And then the right knee is going to come over the left knee. So I'm stacking the knees and I'm getting a nice big twist here on that right glute, nice big stretch. Sitting up nice and tall, so the legs are twisted, but it's opening up that right glute. Now the left hand, grab a strap for a moment if you have a strap or a belt or a tie, something handy, and bring it over the back of the neck. Grab that left elbow and try to bring it as high as you can above the head so it's got a nice vertical position. Keep the head pressing against the forearm so you have that nice posture. You have your head over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips, and then that right arm is going to come back and grab hold of this strap behind the back. So we've all done this different times. So we're getting into the shoulders in a very particular way. We're working on the bind. So just feel this bind. Allow the sensations to grow. You don't have to really overly do this. We're going to be here for a little while, getting used to the bind for this next pose. Notice your right shoulder in particular. The anterior deltoid of that right shoulder, probably feeling a bit of stretch here. Sometimes you might want to walk the right hand up further, as long as you don't sacrifice the head. Imagine you're balancing a book on top of your head. Continue to breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and one, release. Release slowly after a bind, because that's a lot of stretch in the front of that shoulder, gets deep into the ligaments and tendons. Unwind the legs, allow the legs to stretch out for a moment. And we're going to come into the other side. So start with that right foot coming back. I'll move front on this time so you can see it from a front on position. And then working on bringing the left foot back into shoelace pose. So let's say your bottom knee isn't grounded. You could always bring a block under the bottom knee to support it like that. You could bring a blanket or a cushion. And the same with the top knee. I like to have the top knee grounded. So if the top knee is up like that, you might want to find a cushion or something where you can feel the thigh of the top leg grounded. And then wiggle the hips from side to side. Try to establish that nice crossed position in shoelace pose. You could even press down on the thigh a little bit if that feels appropriate. And you'll start to feel that stretch in the glutes, which is going to be important for this next pose. And then bring the right hand up this time behind the head. Let the left hand guide the right elbow so you get that nice stretch in the ribs. So a lot of the issues for coming into twists results in these tight ribs. We need the ribs opened. And then the left hand can come around and seek the strap, and it can climb the ladder as it finds its optimal range. Now, what does optimal range mean? It means your sensation should be delicious discomfort, not pain. So we're not trying to create a super painful shoulder opening here. You need to be looking for delicious discomfort. So it's like, I wouldn't like to do this for an hour, but it's kind of nice what's happening right now. And then be patient and wait. Sensations will build. Keep good posture. Balance the book on the head. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and gently release. Whew. Notice how you feel. So notice how the shoulders are right now. We've put a lot of emphasis in the shoulders, the shoulder blades. We've stretched a lot of the muscles through the arms, the neck. And I think the neck is one last thing we'll do before we go into this pose. Gently exhale, drop the chin towards the chest. Feel the back of the neck traction out. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, neutral. Take the left arm behind the back. Grab hold of the left hand and create a little chicken wing with your right elbow. Drop your ear towards that right elbow. Traction out the side of the neck. And then simply keep the neck leaning towards that right shoulder. Drop the chin to the chest. Look down towards the knee. And then inhale, lift the chin up, look towards the ceiling. Try that twice more. Down and up. So another area where the shoulders become locked up is with this relationship with the neck. So we're going to think of our shoulders joining many parts of the body, chest, back, arms, neck, all joining at the shoulders. Inhale, neutral, release. Notice how that feels. You can come out of shoelace pose anytime you want. I'm just enjoying shoelace right now. You bring that right hand back, create a wing with that left arm. Now drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Feel the right shoulder come away so you get that release from the tightening of the neck and the shoulder. Start your head nods down and up, keeping the lean to that left side. And then when you find neutral at last time, gently release. Come off your block if you're still on the block. Extend the feet onto the floor in front of you. Lean back into the hands. Gently draw the shoulder blades back and open your chest. Lift the head up and down. Up and down. Find neutral. This time press down through the heels. Lift your hips up. Reverse tabletop. Start to release those hips after all that work they've done. Now the head can come and look up if you feel comfortable. Otherwise, keep the chin neutral or towards the chest. Try to create that nice flat tabletop for 3, 2, exhale, release. All right. So here we come. So this, what we're about to do, can be challenging. So just do the parts that you feel comfortable with. It's a pose that I often find, if I haven't done it for a while, it takes me, I find it challenging, right? It's going to require balance. It's going to require a twist, and we'll come up slowly. I would recommend you have a strap, and I'm going to have my back to you for the first pose so you can see what I'm doing with this strap behind my back. Come into tabletop, hands on the shoulders, knees under hips, a little cat and cow. Curl the toes, lift the knees, press back, bent knee, downward dog. Spread the weight through the hands, lengthen through the arms. Push the tailbone back, crown of the head towards the thumbs. And try to squeeze something under your armpits, elbows roll towards the ceiling, and then press the heels down into your full downward dog. Bring the feet together. Lift the left foot high to the sky, three-legged dog. And step the left foot forward to the left wrist. And drop the back heel and the back foot behind the left foot. So both feet are on the left side of the mat. Rotate that right hand up and back. Look back. Look forward, warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Push that right hip back. Reach that left hand forward. Drop the left hand into triangle Trikonasana. Bend that front knee, warrior 2. Now grab your strap. Grab your strap. Check your back foot. Let's bring the strap over the neck for a moment so it's out of the way. Check that back foot is slightly pigeon-toed. I think you can see that on the video. Bending the front knee, warrior two. Bring that back foot in just a little bit and lean into that left thigh. Right hand comes up and over into your side angle. Make sure you have a nice reach here, nice big stretch, using the shoulder that's opened here and the hips that are opened. Take the strap and into the right hand and bring it behind you so it dangles behind you and you're in your half bind. Bring that right hand forward as much as possible. Right shoulder back as much as possible. And then reach the left hand down and grab the strap or the hands. Now, if you grab the strap or hands, make sure that that right shoulder comes back until you feel the bind here. If at any time this gets too much, you can always let go and release. In fact, let's let go and release, straighten that front leg. So that's a big compression in that front leg. I'm going to move my blanket out of the way so it's not a distraction here. So let's try that again. Inhale, warrior two. Bend that front knee. Reach back, side angle. Drop that hand behind you. And then come into your half bind. Now, your half bind or your bind is strap to strap, hands to strap or hands together. Bring the right shoulder back, a lot of weight over that front hip flexor. Now you can stay here and just develop this, or you can move into the balance pose. Balance pose, back leg comes forward, so you come into a little crouch. Weight comes into that back foot, and you're going to lift that front foot up while you hold the half bind. It can be elegant or otherwise. Now in the half bind, open up that right shoulder more as you extend that left leg into bird of paradise. So the shoulders are really doing a lot here to open you up. Exhale, release, come down, and then release back into that. I'm losing my balance here. Release the bind, warrior two. Bring that right hand down, step back, downward dog. Drop the knees, come into child pose. So we kind of moved into a more advanced pose with bird of paradise. And you can see I lost my balance a few times. So we're really using the strap to hold the twist and to keep the body open. So without all that warm up and preparation of the shoulders and the hips, bird of paradise becomes a very challenging pose. Inhale, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's do one more side before we come down and cool down and have Shavasana. Engage the arms, bent knee, downward dog. Lengthen through the arms. Shoulder blades come apart. Crown of the head reaches forward. Press the heels back. Lift the right foot this time. Big step forward. Drop the back heel. Inhale, come up, warrior two. Left hand behind. Right hand in front. Gently straighten the front leg. Feel your triangle. Releasing that front hip flexor. Come into warrior two. If you've got your strap handy, this is where you want to have the strap either around the neck or in the left hand. Lean into that right thigh and come into that side angle. You can bring that left hand behind you so the tail wags behind you and you've got that big shoulder opening. Left shoulder keeps coming back. Now just to give this hip time to be prepared for where we're going to take it. Inhale, come back, warrior two, straighten the front leg. Give it a little spell. And now we'll come all the way forward. Inhale, warrior two. Side angle. Now when I come into a half bind in side angle, the hand behind, I like to bring that back leg in about an inch or so. I just find it more stabilizing to have it a little closer than my warrior two stance. Now this is already a great place to be. Can you bring that left shoulder back so you're really opening the left shoulder up, getting it used to its part in this pose. Now when I go into the bind, I reach forward to grab the strap or the hands, and then I bring the shoulder back so I get that nice opening. Now this is already really where you want to be for your revolve twist. Hands are stable on the strap or together, and that shoulder's back. This is already a tremendous twist. Now just to add icing to the cake, back foot comes forward, take your weight into that back foot, back knee bent, and you're going to press through that heel to lift up that right leg. Find your balance, find your drishti, start to extend, but don't let go of those shoulders. Keep those shoulders working. Nice work. Nice work. Exhale, release. Come down, keep the bind if you can. Step back. Release. Come up, warrior two. Exhale, release. Well, deep work there, folks. Let's bring the heels in a little closer. Slide down to the ground and come onto your back. Clasp the hands under the head like you're on a picnic blanket at Tanglewood under a blue sky. Wrap the hands around the skull and wrap the forearms around the skull and encase the skull between your forearms and your hands, lifting the head off the ground. Chin to the chest. Now create a super squeeze here so you really feel the head thoroughly being squeezed, and start to lift the back of the neck, the back of the skull away from the neck, traction out the occipital ridge. Shoulder blades apart. So this is a great way to release the shoulders. And then gently release, exhale. Let both knees fall to the left of the body. Arms out to the side. Right arm reaches up over the head and turn the head to the right. So even as we relax, keeping this theme of the twist now more involved with the lumbar twist. Inhale the knees to neutral. Let the knees come to the other side. Left hand reaches up over the head. Turn the head towards the left. Inhale the head to neutral, knees to neutral, hips to neutral. Bring the knees together for a moment, feet apart, palms face up. Open up the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Come into bound angle on the back. And then you can choose to extend the legs into Shavasana. Keep what you're doing right now. If you want more hip opening, or bring the knees together like we had in the original. Allow yourself to relax the shoulders. Unhinge the jaw. Let the jaw go limp. Relax the hips even more. If there's any pressure in the eyes, let the eyes melt into stillness. Just allow. Allow your eyes to come into their sleep pose. Let the eyes come into Shavasana. Notice your breathing. Notice the extremities of your body, the fingers, the toes. Allow them to gently move, standing your feet on the mat. Gently turn the head to the left. Inhale neutral. Exhale the head to the right. Inhale neutral. And take a moment to consider if you want to stay longer in Shavasana, or if you're ready to transition for the rest of the day. Allow yourself to roll to one side. Curl up into a little ball. And then in your own time, gently press up to a seated position. Gently exhale ahead, turn it to the left. Inhale neutral. Exhale ahead to the right. Gently roll the shoulders back and down. Bring the hands together in prayer position at the chest. Let the head bow in gratitude for this new day, for each other's company. Namaste. Thank you, friends, for turning up. I'm just going to stop the recording, and if you want to unmute yourself, you can.